Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is a, what shall we say, warm day? It's
Very
a little
much.
warm out.
Yeah, that's come from me, Mr. Tomato over here, so yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Tomato. Yes, we're going to have the sunscreen talk here in a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So our good friend Koaltyn is here with us today, and so you have been blessed by
I would not call it a blessing.
All right, that was sarcasm.
Yeah.
By having Alpha Gal not once but twice, and we're going to find out all about it today. And if you're saying Alpha Gal, what the world did she just say? We're going to tell you about it. It is something that you do not want in your body. So, but Koaltyn, Adrian over there tells me I have to play a commercial. And then when we come back, we're going to find out all about your experiences. How's that?
Good.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Say that.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thettelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, and welcome back to the show. And we have Koaltyn here. Koaltyn, what's your last name?
Sturgill.
Koaltyn Sturgill. And you are, you told me that you're getting ready to start your freshman year
Yes, I am.
in school. And where do you go to school?
I go to Jackson High School now.
Oh, so leaving the middle school, going to the high school.
Yes.
What's that like? Does it make you nervous?
Not really. I've heard they have better lunches, so I'm already happy.
It's all about the food, right?
I mean, whenever the food looks like gabagaloosh, yes. It looks like some ancient Russian meal, so yes.
Oh.
And not in a good way. I mean, like, not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
No.
You know, we, strangely enough, back in 100 years ago when I was your age, we were actually allowed to leave for lunch. Can you believe that? They let us
I'm broke anyway,
out.
so, I mean, I wouldn't be able to buy none. I'm going to be honest here, I'm broke.
Well, you're 14. You're supposed to be broke.
I mean, yeah, but other people, like, mowed lawns. I'm like, I can't do that. I live on a state route. Well, am I supposed to walk across the road?
Well, just put your lawnmower in a wagon and drive it like everybody else does around this
What wagon?
town.
I have a bike.
We'll put it on the back of your bike and drag it around.
An entire lawnmower. Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to work.
I mean, we could get you a little trailer for your bike.
Who believes in physics? Am I right?
We could get you a little bell, and you could go ding ding on your bike.
Get your news here. Just going to toss it over to people on the street.
Yeah, see, you can do
Okay.
all that. You have fantastic hair.
Thank you, because I was not able to take a shower this morning, so
Yeah, it's good.
I didn't have time. Mom was like, you need to take a shower. I'm like, Mom, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't even eat at my own pace right now. I had to absolutely down some General Sodas. I had to down it.
Awesome.
So,
Sounds good. All right, so let's get to the point here. you were telling me that you have had alpha-gal not once but twice, which really sucks. And I guess first off, let's talk about that. And the first time I was telling you, the first time I'd ever heard of that is had a server at Archinetti's, and her story was she was serving and her throat kept swelling shut and she had to keep going to the doctor and no one knew why. And this was back in 2013. And finally they figured out that she had alpha-gal, and she came back and told us that she had a tick disease and that was why her throat was swelling shut. And we thought she was making it up because none of us had ever heard of it at the time. Well, now it's just becoming more and more prevalent, and we have tons of people that come into the brewery now that, ask us to cook things in separate pans and whatever because
that grease has the proteins
yeah,
in it. So.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about alpha-gal. You've had it, and so you've done tons of research on it, which is really, really cool.
For my own sake, for that closure, yeah.
For sure.
Lone Star ticks are the ones that get it, and they're the ones with white dots on their back.
Yeah, and we have a picture there. And so this is you're bitten by a tick.
Mm-hmm. I think it was a female that I got bit by.
Okay.
Because I remember that dot.
And the dot, and that's how you kind of know. But see, here's the thing. You're looking at that tick thinking, well, it's a big tick. But look at that as compared to a dime.
And the larvae are really small. Fun fact about ticks, they, gradually work up. So whenever they're small like that, they bind to stuff like rabbits and dogs whenever they're larvae. They get nymphs, they bite onto, deer. Adults, that's when they bite onto humans.
Okay, so they don't really take us on until they get older.
Yeah.
What's the lifespan of a tick?
I think 3 months, maybe.
Okay.
They don't have a long life.
You know what it is? 3 months too long.
Yeah.
2 to 3 years. Well, it's 2 to 3 years too long.
I was wrong.
Well, we're going to redo your research, aren't we?
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so when was your first experience with this?
It was when we still had to wear masks because of COVID. I thought it was just a sunburn at first because it was going on for 3 days. And my mom's like, wait, you have hives right there. I'm like, what? What are hives? Because I didn't know what they were.
Sure, because, you were... Well, how old were you then?
I think I was...
It's been 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 4 years ago.
Either 2020 or 2021 that happened.
Yeah.
So that was... I'm 14 right now, so I was maybe 9.
Yeah, so you were young.
I was still in dinosaur pajamas. You'll see in one of the pictures. But she was like, you have hives, and they brought me to the emergency room since I was basically stuck to the bed. It was bad. And we went to them, and they couldn't tell what it was. So they just gave me a steroid and said, you can go talk to other people to see. And my mom eventually, after I want to say 3 different people we went to, said it was a tick. And they said, oh, you have red meat disease or Lone Star tick disease, alpha-gal.
Yeah.
And my mom's like,
what? What is the... You're making this up because it sounds made up.
And I was completely zoned out and didn't hear a word. So it had turned out that since I had that tick on me for so long that it created that bruise, I had actually gotten it time to give me alpha-gal.
So did you know that you had a tick on you?
I did not know until my mom saw that there was a weird bruise mark coming up from my neck, and we checked my armpit. I'm like, there's a tick there. It's been there for so long, it's making a bruise. I think that's another reason why they call it Lone Star. I don't know. You might have to check that. I know it's the dot that they call Lone Star, but it caused a bruise on me because of how long. So
it was on your armpit for a long time, and that's probably not something that you're looking at all the time, so it would be easy to miss.
Not just
and they're so small.
They are, except that one was bigger since it was just leaching off my blood. So
yeah. So you've done a lot of, and then we'll get back to the alpha-gal itself, but you've done a lot of research just on ticks in general. What have you found out? Because you were telling me they can't see they don't see the way that...
They don't see normally. They see, I don't know if it's infrared, but they see through blood and stuff. Because I'm pretty sure it's because of grass, they can't see that well. And also since they're so small. Ants, they can almost not see at all. They have to communicate through pheromones.
Ants?
They almost can't see at all because of how small they are.
Oh.
They're basically blind. And some ants are blind.
That would be sad, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, except they don't really care because they never know what sight was.
Well, that's true. I guess they don't know. So tell us all that you know about ticks.
So whenever they are larvae, which you can pull up the picture if that would, when they're larvae, they actually don't bite humans yet. They don't tackle them on. When they're larvae, they tackle smaller creatures like dogs, maybe. They go onto stuff like rabbits. Then whenever they hit nymphs, they go on to bigger things like deers. That's where the thing deer tick comes from.
Okay.
I'm guessing some person just saw them on a bunch of these guys on deers and thought, I'm going to name that deer tick.
Yeah.
And whenever they adults, that's when they go for the bigger things, such as humans.
Like humans. And elephants. No, just kidding.
No. I would assume not. I mean,
I don't know. I wonder if elephants get ticks.
there's like a bird that does that kind of thing for them in Africa. It just sucks on their blood, basically. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Ew.
don't remember what it's called, but it's like some white bird that flies and it will suck on their blood.
That's icky. So the tick basically feeds off of blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us, like alpha-gal, like what is it? How do you get it?
From the Lone Star tick.
From the
because
tick.
you actually get from the saliva. It doesn't even have to bite you. It just has to have some saliva go into the wound. It doesn't have to bite you.
Ew.
But it turns your white blood cells against those proteins inside meat because it sees them as a disease. So it will fight them, but they've already bonded to your bloodstream, and that causes a bunch of problems. Mm-hmm. So it's just like a battlefield going on in your bloodstream. And that's what causes, for me at least, rash and hives that swell up my throat. That's why I have to keep an EpiPen on me. So I'm probably going to be scarred for the rest of my life, but hey, that's life.
It is. But it sucks.
Yeah, a lot.
So what were your first symptoms? I know you said you had some hives.
At first, I, again, thought it was just a sunburn. Because I thought it was a really weird one, because there's just random splotches of red. And it actually wasn't, because my mom saw those hives. Mm-hmm. And then I could barely move because I wasn't getting that much air from it closing my throat up.
Okay.
And I was lucky my mom noticed beforehand. Otherwise, I might have just died. I might have. I might not even have been here. I might not even see my friend group also. Shout out to them for telling me just not to eat. That really helped, you know? Not to eat anything. I had to do that. I promised them I would say that. I did kind of promise, so I had to put that in there somewhere.
Okay. All right. So you had the splotchy, and then you went to the ER, and we figured it out that you have.
They didn't figure it out ever. They just gave me a steroid, said go talk to other people and then see. So it took like a month.
And then, so you finally found a doctor or somebody that diagnosed you with
Alpha-gal, yes. So,
and had you heard of it before?
Not at all, no.
No. I know. It's because, again, it sounds made up. Like
whenever it was back then, that's whenever it started getting on the rise.
Yeah.
So people hadn't just heard about it yet. And then I think directly afterwards is conveniently when everyone realized, oh, shoot, we should probably take care of this. Mm-hmm. The only way to take care of it, there is no cure that I know of. The only thing people have found that might work is acupuncture, which doesn't work for everyone.
I have heard of people using acupuncture.
But you can still get it again because alpha-gal never fully goes away. It just lies dormant. Because everyone has alpha-gal levels. I'm pretty sure everyone's born with a different amount of them. And once it reaches a certain threshold, which I think is like 0.7 maybe? Something like that. And whenever you reach that certain threshold, you can't have meat anymore. Whenever I eat meat, I have to start treatment all over again because my alpha-gal levels elevate so high.
Okay, so tell us the science behind all this. Like, what does alpha-gal mean? Like,
I don't think it has a real meaning. I think
it's a protein within your body? Is that?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But I think isn't that the protein on meat? Yeah, I thought so. And that will basically just, again, it will see that as a disease and your body fights against it. kind of like how cancer works, where it multiplies a bunch of cells. It turns your body against itself. That's why it's so deadly.
So you got so what were your symptoms? Your throat, obviously
Swelling,
the hives.
Rash.
So, and then your throat got tight.
And there's another symptom. I don't think I've experienced it, but I don't know for sure. And that is, like, mentally. You can get affected mentally by it, not just from eating meat, but it actually affects your brain. Because those proteins are actually something you need, because you can develop brain damage without them. That's why it's not really good for kids to go vegan so early, because it can cause brain damage.
Oh,
It can't cause
we don't
brain
want
damage.
that. Is that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Look at you, just a little baby.
Yeah, I look like an elf with those mask on. I don't like it. You could see just how, like,
Oh my
swelled up
goodness,
throat was.
yeah.
Because I was just going like, because how swelled up it was. Again, the second time it was way worse. Because the older you get, actually, the harder it is for your body to fight against alpha.
Really? Okay.
So if you're old enough, you could just have it permanently.
Oh yeah, there's some hives.
You can see my dinosaur pajamas.
Aw. Oh my gosh, you poor little thing.
Yeah, whenever I got it the second time, though, there was none of those spots where there wasn't red. It was
Really?
the entire body.
Just red all over.
Yeah, it was bad.
So because I've talked with several people that have experienced kind of different symptoms, like it affects people in different ways.
I think that's something to do with the immune system, or maybe the thing. Some people can't even have any dairy products or anything like that. They can't have gelatin. They can't have any of that because that's from animals. I got lucky and didn't get that.
Yeah.
But some people got even luckier, and they'll just get, like, maybe diarrhea whenever they eat meat, maybe a fever.
Mm-hmm.
But I get, again, the rash and hives where I have to keep an EpiPen on me.
So does it, and some people, like, they say it'll last 3 months or 6 months, and then they can go back to kind of living their normal life, and then other people, like, never.
You get bit by a tick, though, and if it even has a slight bit of alpha-gal, your levels elevate heavily. So you basically always have to wear a tick spray from then on. And it's bad. It's real bad, because the second you get bit, you have an allergic reaction again.
Okay.
So that causes, yeah, but some people, depending on your levels, it will tell how severe the alpha-gal level, or how severe the alpha-gal is, and how long you'll have it. Last time I had for 6 months, I think.
Okay.
And this time it was, I think last time mine was like 1.7 in alpha-gal levels. This time it was like 3.7.
Oh, really? So it was, like, way worse.
It was way worse.
So right now, where are you at in the whole cycle of it?
I kind of forgotten because I try to forget. I do, because then I immediately have like a midlife crisis, except it's not midlife.
I hope it's not midlife for
I
you,
have an
14.
early life crisis.
Yeah.
And it's just bad because I just got into like a state of, just looking down like, why? And I just immediately forget immediately after. That's a good thing about ADHD. You can't remember anything.
So, what are you able to eat meat right now, or how do you?
Not that I know of, because we haven't gotten my blood taken. The way it works is you have to get your blood taken, I think, every 2 months, every 9 months, 6, something like that. It's some form of months. Every now and then you have to get your blood taken. To see your alpha levels, because there's no other way to tell. You can't just look at someone and be like 0.6. That's not how that works.
Yeah, I don't figure you can. Yeah, blood's kind of like inside your body. It's kind of hard.
I
to
hope
see.
it's not outside. Then
Yeah,
we have
that
a
would be
bigger
bad,
problem.
wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of supposed to be
bad.
in there.
Yeah. So what? How have you had to change your lifestyle?
I used to love meat. I mean, like, we would go to Wendy's and I'd get a double cheeseburger, and then whenever I got alpha-gal, we kept getting them, and we didn't know I got it again. So that's how the first allergic reaction went. The reason why it wasn't going away is because I kept eating meat. Because alpha-gal, the biggest part about it is it's inconsistent. Very. It could take like 2 hours for it to kick in after you eat meat. It could take 1 hour. Heck, it could take 25 minutes. So you could think, oh, I can get my EpiPen by then. You could be wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the scariest part. You just don't know. Like, if you accidentally took a bite of pizza, which just happened to me, you can ask Liv over there. I accidentally ate a piece of pizza that had, I think, bacon on it. And I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
Like, what happened?
Nothing, because it wasn't enough to trigger.
Gotcha.
But it was just the feeling of that could happen that struck fear in me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got to...
And if my mom didn't convince me, it could have had a placebo effect, and I'm hoping it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable how many people have been stricken, I guess would be the word, with this. And, you know, we have lots of people that come in to the brewery and ask for things to be cooked in a separate pan or whatever, because obviously you can't throw something on a grill that's had...
Wait, are you the owner of Sixth Sense?
Mm-hmm.
I actually think I saw you at school. I'm
Oh,
pretty
probably.
sure you went to talk
Yeah, I did
at
a
middle
talk
school.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually do think I saw you.
Yeah, in the auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was me.
I had no clue, I'm going to be honest. I completely forgot about it.
That's all right. I'm very forgettable.
Oh, no, it wasn't that. It was just in general that they sucked. It was terrible. Because I had
day?
Alpha Gal then, too.
Oh, you did.
And I'm pretty sure I asked a question about that.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yep.
So...
But yeah, we have to cook stuff separate quite a bit. So this doesn't... What are the things that you can't eat when you have alpha-gal?
For one, red meats that include stuff like beef, all of that. And you can't have pork because it's similar and has the same proteins. But you can have poultry because that's white meat.
Right.
You can have seafood because that's also white meat, except salmon, that's pink meat, but you can still have it.
Okay. So any of the, like, fish or seafood or chicken.
Yeah, if it's white meat, you can have it.
Okay.
Which just means all of birds you can have and all of seafood.
That makes sense. So you just have to stay away from beef and pork.
Yeah. Don't ask me if bugs count. I don't know. I don't eat bugs.
That's a fair question. Do bugs count? I don't know. You don't eat bugs?
No, I don't. I don't just
no
look around for the
crickets,
biggest bugs and be
no
like, big bug.
cockroaches?
I don't do that.
There's like TV shows where people have to do that.
There is one thing I have always wondered. Since alpha-gal is transmitted through saliva, could I technically bite someone and give them alpha-gal?
I wonder, is that a thing?
I don't know.
Do you want to try it?
No, I don't think you want it.
No, I don't. I definitely don't. It's like you're a vampire.
Yeah, except instead of sucking the blood, I kind of just spit saliva.
Weird.
I never thought about it that way, I guess. I just wondered, is that possible?
I don't know, since, I mean, it's within your body, so you have to think that, could you pass it on to somebody else?
Because I think the way it works for ticks is they have alpha-gal themselves. But since they don't directly eat meat, they don't get it. They don't get that rash and stuff. Because I'm pretty sure if they got a rash, they'd just die instantly.
I would think so. They're kind of small.
Yeah, they just wouldn't survive. I've never seen a dog with alpha-gal either. I don't know if it's just sensitive to humans.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because, like, do deer get it? Can dogs get it?
I mean, that would explain the entire deer tick thing, I guess, maybe. But deers, it wouldn't affect them since they don't eat meat.
I mean, if your dog had alpha-gal, I mean, all the dog foods basically are meat related.
All are, yeah. So I've never seen a dog with alpha-gal. God forbid Sophie got alpha-gal. I wouldn't be able to live with that.
Is that your dog?
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to. She is my pride and joy.
Aw.
She's very sassy, though, so.
What kind of dog is she?
We don't know because my mom refused to do a DNA test that she bought. She just keeps forgetting about it. We know that she's a pit bull, and we think she's mixed with a Callahoola leopard dog. Uh-huh. Or maybe a Great Dane. We don't know exactly.
So she's a big girl.
No, she's only the size of like a pit bull.
Okay.
So.
Dogs don't get alpha.
Yeah,
Dogs
that's what
don't
I thought.
get
I've never
alpha-gal.
seen a dog with alpha-gal. I don't know if it's just humans.
I mean, if that was a thing, that would get dangerous quick, because...
I guess the reason why is because adult ticks don't go for dogs. And I'm guessing those are the ones that actually carry alpha-gal. You might have to check me on that. I did only so much research that I could think of. My research method is kind of just Google it. See if it works. You know, if you can find something, that means it obviously exists.
Yeah.
Because Google's always right.
Because Google doesn't lie.
It never lies. Never.
There's never. I read on the internet. It's true.
I read on Google that Google's always right.
I bet you did. So, what have you? What will you do in the future to? I mean, what would you suggest to people to try to prevent this?
You can try tick spray, but again, tick spray only works for making it where ticks can't see you.
So, is tick spray different than regular bug spray?
Yes, because it makes it where the ticks can't see you with the way they see. So they'll see just nothing there. But other bugs will, which means it doesn't work interchangeably. The only thing I can really do to, like, almost guarantee you don't get it is stay away from long grass.
Yeah.
Because that's where ticks love. And always either cover every part of your legs or always check.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I always think is if you're out and about,
Because
perhaps wear, at least tall socks.
yeah, because ticks prefer the upper body because that's where the heart is. I'm pretty sure that's at least why. I don't know if they understand that.
Closer to...
Because I've never had a tick bite my leg. They always crawl up it. So I guess always check, always try to feel for ticks, because you can sometimes feel their legs.
Yeah.
But of course I have hairy legs, so I can just feel them always. So I have that benefit now.
Interesting.
Like I said, you just grow longer hair on your legs. I mean, that might work. That might work.
There you go. Just let it go.
Just let it grow.
No, that it is, and ticks are they're. I don't care what time of the year it is, they're always out there. They say they die off in the winter. I don't believe that.
They don't die off. They just actually hibernate. They kind of hibernate, at least. I don't think they die off necessarily, because otherwise every tick would just cease to exist.
Right. Which wouldn't be a bad thing.
I'm pretty sure some ticks still actually live during the winter. They still, move around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not a whole lot, but...
So
Life's just over there on the computer checking all the facts.
Or she's fact checking. So yeah, you just need to, I mean, the main thing is to protect yourself from getting a tick on you to begin with.
You don't want to, especially if you see that they have a white dot on them, take them off immediately. Don't even give them a chance to even, check it. You see white on the tick, you just take it off. Because the chances of alpha, I think it's 50 or 25% of getting it. I rolled the dice and rolled wrong. Liv will again have to fact check that. I don't know the facts on that one.
And here's the thing. So the interesting thing is those Lone Star ticks obviously came from the West, and we didn't used to have them here. And now all of a sudden,
yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure they're invasive.
Here we are with these ticks that we didn't have before. Even when I was growing up, ticks were huge, and you could see them, and that was it, and that's what we had here. But now we have all kind of different ones.
That's one of the downsides of everyone trading with each other. Is now that means all kinds of different things, invasive species can get everywhere.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure actually right now in I think it's Florida or something, iguanas, someplace there's invasive iguanas there, and there's lots of them. It's impossible for them to get rid of all of them.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess
Lizards.
From colonizing and coming over to America, I guess it comes full circle with the diseases.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh my gosh. So right now you cannot so do you just eventually just try to eat meat and see if you can?
Whenever we get our alpha levels checked, we see if they say we can, and then we'll try and eat little by little.
Okay.
So, maybe, a corn dog a month.
I gotcha.
Or not a month, a week, I should say.
And just see how it goes?
Yeah.
But you have your EpiPen just in case?
I've never had to use my EpiPen because those things are expensive. Mm-hmm. That's, the price of my entire bloodline. They are expensive. They're, $700 to refill.
Oh, are they really?
They're really expensive.
Oh, my gosh.
Because it's just, having steroids inside the thing.
Yeah.
Not those steroids. I know what people are going to be saying. Steroids to improve your immune system.
Yeah, that's a whole different situation.
That's anabolic steroids are a lot different.
Yeah, we don't want you looking like Hans and Franz. You probably don't know who that is, do you?
No, I was gonna say Arnold, but that works too, I guess.
Either way. Hans and Franz were two Saturday Night Live characters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to look like Liver King, if you knew who that is.
No. Who's Liver
Good.
King?
You don't want to.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you don't want to. They call him Liver King for a reason.
Oh. Ew. So tell me, what does a 14-year-old do during the summer between school?
Where I live, literally nothing. There's like nothing I can do at my house. It's like, what do you want first? What to do at my house? Number 1, step outside. Number 2, thanks for watching. There's like nothing else I can do except just standing outside going, the sky looks pretty.
Uh-huh.
There's just like none to do there.
So do you have any plans for the summer?
I was going to, with my friend Mason, I was going to mow. He never responded to me, so. And also, I guess the prices of gas already are high, and I didn't want to waste gas.
That is true. It is high. But you can earn yourself some money mowing when you hook the trailer to the back of your bike. Carry the mower around.
For some reason, I can just imagine like
Ding,
one of
ding.
those like big trailers for a truck just on the back of a bike.
On the back of your bike, pulling it around.
Just moving at like 1 mile per hour.
I can see it. Depends on how fast you can pedal.
I'd rather not like see if it's possible to get arthritis in my legs. I don't want to see if that is possible. I don't think it is. I don't want to see if it is though. So
If you have arthritis at 14 from pedaling a bike, I don't know what to tell you, bud. That'd be real unfortunate.
I guess so, yeah.
So what are you going to do to not get alpha gal again?
Not go outside. Easy. Easy fix, honestly.
Yeah.
Here, everyone don't get... No, I'm playing. I'm joking. Go outside. Just avoid long grass at all costs.
Yeah.
I had to look into the camera dramatically. I don't have to.
Do you want to try it again?
Don't go into long grass. I had to do it. I had to do it at least once.
It was very effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are never going to go in grass in general. Also, this cup is getting annoying. It's just always in frame. Hold on.
Oh, he's just leaving. Are you just going to go throw that cup away, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in frame and it's been annoying me the entire time. I've been waiting until I finish that. Don't worry, I never left. Your eyes deceive you.
That is true.
Yeah, I never left. That was an optical illusion.
It was. So you have any vacations planned?
Again, not only am I broke, we are also broke. We cannot afford that right now.
Gotcha. You have to create
Liv
your
can
own.
ask. We cannot afford that right now. Why have we not gone to the beach already then?
Because your mom
Okay, that's
doesn't
fair
like
enough.
the beach.
My mom she's... Okay, I don't care if you're watching, Mom. You're kind of lazy, I'm going to be honest. That DNA test, I'm just saying, that DNA test has been sitting there for like 2 years. All you have to do is collect some Sophie's pee, and that's it. That's all you have to do. There's been LEDs in my room that she just refuses to set up. Because she's like, no, it's going to make an imprint on the whatever. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Aren't we, like, tearing up stuff in the house?
LEDs. Isn't that a light?
Yes.
Why don't
Yes.
you set it up yourself then?
She won't let me. I can't even make my own scrambled eggs. She has to make them for me because she doesn't let me. She's afraid I'm going to hurt myself. I'm like,
Making
Mom,
scrambled eggs?
yes, I can't even make scrambled eggs on my own. She doesn't let me.
Well, at least you're allowed to eat scrambled eggs.
I barely do. At Momholes, yes, that's because she lets me. There's a big difference between my mom and Momo.
Yeah, they maybe you get to do more things there. Grannies are good for that.
Yes, they are. Heck, I made my own stuffing over there.
Really?
Yes. I mean, it was the stovetop, but still, I mean, I made it.
Yep. You have to boil water and everything for that.
Yep.
Cut a piece of butter.
Yep. No, I just dunked the entire butter. No, I'm joking. I didn't dunk an entire piece of butter in there.
I mean, it would be good because I love butter.
I mean,
Like I could eat a stick of butter. Is that weird?
I sound like someone that's on the carnivore diet. Don't ask what the carnivore diet is. You can infer what it is.
So one of my friends was telling me the other day that she and her husband did that for like 40 days, and he lost a ton of weight. And
Don't do it. It's
like,
terrible to do. You miss so many like vitamins and everything.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you just ate meat
Some people-
for 40 days? Like,
Some
ew.
people will even just eat it raw for 40 days.
Oh.
Or just permanently. That's what the Liver King is. He's someone that does carnivore diets.
Oh, really?
That's why they call him that.
It just seems to me like, yeah, you wouldn't, like, I like a salad and
Like, I like
stuff.
meat more than the other guy, but without any vegetables or anything, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I feel like even if you took a vitamin, it still wouldn't be good for you.
Definitely not. No.
What is the premise behind that?
I guess it's also people eat it with no seasoning too. Food with no seasoning because of that.
Yuck.
I guess it's that whenever we've been lied to ever meat is actually better to eat without vegetables because a real man or beast eats it with just meat. I don't exactly know how it works because I mean that's kind of my worst fear is a carnivore diet.
Well, I
Arby's
would
is
think
like
so. If you have alpha gal, that'd be real bad.
yeah, Arby's is my arch nemesis at this point. Their
Yes.
motto is literally "We have the meats." It's my arch nemesis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some people say, "So you're vegan?" And I'm like, "No, because I still eat chicken." So that doesn't make me vegan.
Do you like fish?
I'm not a big fan of seafood unless it's Dennis's like seafood he makes. That's different. Whenever he makes his fish,
It's because it's fried. Everything's good fried.
but he makes like really good. Like it's nice and greasy. It's amazing.
Yeah, greasy's good.
But like most other seafoods, I can't stand them. Like especially whenever like someone says, "Guys, eat this shrimp," I'm like, it's literally looking me dead in the eyes. Why would I eat this? Because for some reason, my brain, I imagine it just moving inside my hand, and I'm like, that would be the worst thing ever. Whenever you're trying to eat something, and it's still alive. Because don't get me wrong, food is food, but whenever it looks me dead in the eyes as I'm eating it, I'm not sure I'm going to eat it.
What kind of shrimp are you eating that has got a head on it?
You'd be surprised. Or crawfish. Depends. Crawfish, whenever they have it like that, I just can't. I'm like, it's looking me dead in the eyes. I'm not eating this.
I get that. Yeah, if it's got eyeballs and it's looking at me.
I'm not going to be able to eat that, yeah. Because if it still has a head on and my brain decides to make up something that's still alive. And I hate that so much. I don't know why my brain does it. Maybe it's the anxiety. I don't know.
So what's your favorite subject in school?
Science, because I want to be a biologist, actually. That's why I did so much research on ticks in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to be a biologist of some kind. Preferably a zoologist or a wildlife biologist. Which just studies animals in and out of captivity.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard the story of Oliver, the humanzee?
The what?
Humanzee.
No.
It was apparently a hybrid between a chimpanzee and a human that was found. It was like a bald chimpanzee that walked on two legs.
Are you making that up?
No, you can look it up. Oliver the humanzee.
He's making that up.
I'm not making it
All
up.
right, tell me about it. Tell me all about it.
Some person found in, I think it was Africa or something, that there was this chimpanzee that they found. And it was some guy buying something burger. And he found it. And he started training him. And he wasn't like all the other chimpanzees. Like, you would tell him to go grab something, and you would let him off the leash. Other chimpanzees would go climbing up a tree and stuff. He would walk over there and bring it back. Or something. He just wanted to be human. Look, is it real? Told ya.
You're freaking me out a little bit.
There has been experiments, apparently. They put, I'm going to say, human fluid inside of a chimpanzee. And it actually apparently worked in New York. But they decided to put down the baby after like 3 months. I don't know why, but Oliver's actually still alive right now.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it was in like 19 something that year. He's still alive.
You're blowing
Warning,
my
this
mind
is kind
right
of
now.
it's kind of a disturbing. It can be kind of disturbing. Some people find it kind of creepy, the picture.
So Oliver is still alive today
Yes.
and lives where?
I think in like some like rehab or like thing for animals. I don't exactly know. He's like the first of his kind in chimpanzees.
So you're saying
Again-
it's like, that's Oliver?
That's Oliver right there. He also has a smaller head than most chimps, 3 times smaller than most.
So you're thinking that that is a human and a chimpanzee mixed
Everyone
together.
did. Everyone did. Because it is possible because our DNA, we share 99% of our DNA with chimpanzees. So it would work, theoretically. It could work.
Weird.
Because normal chimpanzees have giant heads. He doesn't.
Yeah. He definitely doesn't. Interesting.
He died in 2012.
Oh,
Oh, I thought he was still alive. I guess not.
he died in 2012. Oh, no. In Pennsylvania? Interesting.
I thought he was still alive.
Poor Oliver.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you learn something new every day.
Yep.
So, what would you like to tell our viewers about Alpha Gal and like your experience with it, or what would you like to tell them? Don't get it.
It sucks. Don't get it. Yeah, it sucks. Never get it. If some people want to like do haha funny, I'm gonna get Alpha Gal for like views on TikTok or something. Don't. Because there's a chance if you're old enough that you just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, and I mean, it may never go away. It may go away in 3 months. It may. You don't know.
It never does go away. It just lays dormant. So that means if you even get it once for like maybe views or something, you're just screwing yourself over for the rest of your life.
So here's the thing: bug spray, tick spray, all the stuff. Wear socks. Wear clothes.
Stay away from long grass. Cut
Yep.
your grass when you can.
Yep.
Don't put like tick spray inside the grass, especially if you have a dog, because that can lead to bad stuff.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta protect your critters.
So
Yeah.
just stay away from long grass in general. I've learned that. I see long grass, I quiver in fear.
I'll bet. I'll bet
Yeah.
you never want to see a tick as long as you live ever again.
Never, never.
Yeah.
Except I'm probably going to have to if I'm going to be a biologist. I kind of don't really have a choice.
True that. Well, maybe. Study everything besides ticks.
Yeah.
Keep away from them. Well, Koaltyn, it's been fun talking with you today.
Same here. I have finally something to do over the summer. I did. So. I was swimming and then sunburn.
Yep. We're going to talk about SPF here in a little bit, too.
To be fair, I paid it on the second time I went to the pool. I learned my lesson.
Okay. Very good. All
You
right.
can ask Liv. I didn't put it on correctly, but I tried.
We'll give you an A for effort. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Pete Wilson is here. He is waiting in the wings. He's back from his little anniversary trip. Is that right?
Correct.
It's so cute. You guys are so cute. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's have a message. Thank you for talking with us today.
You're welcome.
And we'll be back with Pete Wilson and some news right after this.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
That's the wrong panel. 1 second.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We are back with Pete Wilson, and Adrian is trying to figure out why that is there. And from March 5th.
Is that advance or behind?
I don't know.
If it's advance, we've got a story.
But I can tell you right now that it sure as heck isn't 39 degrees outside. So
No.
at all. At all.
Times 3, maybe.
He's giving me the finger over there.
Not that kind
Not that. Oh no, not that finger. The other finger. Okay. Well, Pete, I'll tell you what. Okay, there we go. Now we're back. So what's going on with the news? You were gone for a few days. What you said you went to Marietta.
Correct.
Was it fun?
It was great. I highly recommend it. I have not been paid anything by the Marietta Visitors and Convention Bureau or the Marietta Chamber of Commerce, but I highly recommend a visit to Marietta, whether it's for a long day or a weekend or a 3-day trip or whatever. That is what Pam and I did for our 43rd anniversary. Didn't want to do anything too elaborate or travel too far or anything too complicated. So we just went to Marietta, stayed in the historic Lafayette Hotel,
yes.
right downtown on Front Street near the confluence of the Ohio and Muskingum River. Took a private tour of the city, thought I knew a lot about Marietta, but I learned a lot more on a private tour with a guy who has to know more about it than anybody else. Went on a Valley Gym cruise to Blennerhassett Island, which is just downriver a little bit from Marietta. That's where a lot of history took place as well.
Okay.
And then we were about an hour or so away from the Wilds, which if you haven't been there, I highly recommend that. Marietta's a good launching point, just about an hour away. And went to the Wilds and saw all those wild critters basically out in the wild, under control, and you can get close to them, on a tour, and you can get very close to them if you're on the highest price tour, which through our anniversary we decided to do it.
Woo!
So a lot of pictures, and some even animal interactions there.
Cool.
So it's like a zoo without the bars.
Gotcha.
So, if you haven't done the Wilds, do that. But Marietta was very nice. It is the first settlement in the Northwest Territory, let alone in the state of Ohio. It's back to 1788, I think, is when it was founded. And so great historic downtown. Of course, it's on the riverfront, and so that gets a lot of attention, too. A lot of riverboat traffic, a lot of recreational activity off the rivers because it is at the confluence of the Muskingum and Ohio River, and so a lot of history, a lot of fun. All the stores downtown. There's no chains in there. It seems like they're all specialty stores, and some things that you're not going to catch in the big box stores that most people go to because of volume and convenience and so forth. So very, very nice. It's exactly about 1 hour and 20 minutes from Jackson, so not very far at all.
Yeah, very good.
So great trip, good getaway. My staff did a wonderful job keeping things on track here. I know that you had Red Thompson and Jeremiah in here a couple of days on TV. They kept the radio up for us because we do the news for the radio. And on the newspaper side, kudos to the whole staff there for allowing me to get away and not worrying too much about it while I was gone. That's the idea.
Yep.
All right. Well, as far as the news, very important. I mentioned this last week, but I'm going to mention it again. Tonight, there's going to be a service committee meeting of Jackson City Council. It's going to be at 6 o'clock at Jackson City Council chambers. If you haven't been there, it's in the building where the Jackson Police Department is. You go on the doors on the right-hand side to go directly into the council chambers. The service committee is a committee of Jackson City Council, but everybody is on each of the committees. So it's kind of like an extension of a council meeting. As a matter of fact, the regular council meeting is at 7 o'clock. But the reason a lot of times service committee meetings, they're not necessarily real newsworthy or anything. This one is because it is basically a discussion/informational meeting, discussion meeting, a forum, if you will, or it can be that, about the plans for the Jackson Memorial Building.
Okay.
Of course, we talked about that last week. An architect and the Jackson Mayor, Randy Evans, have recommended that, the memorial building, as you see right there, built in 1936, be demolished and a new city building be put on that site. There's different options architecturally. They had 3 or 4 different options, including a full renovation of the existing building, tearing down the auditorium, creating more office space and more parking space, but keeping the building. So the option that they've decided to go with, not officially, not finally, but the one that the course that they're on is for a complete demolition of the existing building and building a new building on the site that will actually be smaller, but which of course would be new and would be laid out and planned to fit what the city needs.
Sure.
And even though that building that you see is larger than the building they would build, because of the condition of the building, they're only able to use less than half of it for some city administrative offices, mainly the mayor and service director. They would move the city auditor back there. They would move the utility office back there. That would be two that would move back in to the memorial building where they were at one time before they started to say, well, the auditor's office can't operate out of that basement, and the city utility office needs to be somewhere else too. And so that is what is proposed. So tonight is an opportunity to learn more about it, get in on the discussion, and also, if you want to say amen and endorse that idea, you can do it. If you have concerns or questions, or you even oppose it, this is your question. This is your chance to step up and say that. Remember, city council is an elected body. The mayor is an elected person too. So they're sensitive to the public, I think, especially if the sentiment is strong. I did not sense any opposition on council when it was briefly discussed or presented a meeting ago. I think they know that there's some sentimentality for the building, and there's the thing about historic preservation, but they also realize that the building no longer is efficient.
Right.
And it's deteriorating, and there's a lot of things that are wrong with it. So anyway, service committee meeting at 6 o'clock, city council meeting at 7. It could be that after the service committee meeting, some decisions may be made about moving forward. This is what the mayor is recommending right now, and it'll be up to council. Will have to go along, obviously, because contracts would have to be approved and like that. But like I said, I did not sense that there was opposition to what the mayor is recommending. There's always going to be, pros and cons to any option that you go, and that includes trying to save the building. It actually is going to cost less to demolish and rebuild than it would to renovate, and that may be hard for some people to understand. But when you basically have to turn a building inside out, and that's just the way it is. It's at least $1 million more to go that route. So that's part of it too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that
sense.
is tonight. Okay, speaking of the city of Jackson, I know that a lot of people were interested in the street paving program, particularly what streets are going to be paved. A lot of streets have already been paved. A lot of streets have not been paved. And so I'm going to go down the list really quickly. One of the biggies on the list is South Street. South Street will be paved from the corporation limit all the way on the west end, all the way to Main Street. That is the whole length of South Street. That is more than a mile. That is a section of South Street just on East South Street, east of the Broadway Street intersection, where it is particularly bad, I think. You have some rough patches in there. It already needed paving, but remember they did a water line project all the way up and down South Street. And even though they came back and paved over it, it's a little uneven there. And, there are some bumps and cracks in there. And so they've made a decision to pave all of South Street. And so that is just one of the streets that's on that list. Also, they're going to do Pattonsville Road from US Route 35 to the corporation limit. Beaver Pike from Westview Elementary to High Street. That section is a little rough. Pearl Street from Portsmouth Street to South Street, closer to the downtown area. Walnut Street from Broadway Street to South Street. Broad Street from Bridge Street to South Street. In Jackson Heights, Florence Avenue from Anderson Drive to Lewis Street. Also in Jackson Heights, Anderson Drive from State Route 93 to Florence Avenue. On the back end of Jackson Heights, Lewis Street from the cul-de-sac to Pleasant View Drive. Then over off East Main Street, Carr Street from Main Street to Veterans Drive. Corporation Street from the end of the street to Carr Street. That's back of the Jackson Family Activity Center. Circle Drive from Corporation Street to the end. That's in the same area. And then Y Drive, which goes to Main Street up to the building where the Jackson Family Activity Center is. They are going to pave that. And also Watts Blevins Street from the access road to the end. Once again, we're talking about just short of 4.8 miles of paving. There is a contract that's been let out that for $792,000, but they have a provision in there that they can go 30% more at the same cost of the paving materials if the city wants to do that. And they have done that. They did the same thing last year.
Okay.
So they may actually end up doing more paving than what we've listed there, but they will at least do that, and the $792,000 will cover that. Last year, I think they ended up doing more than $1 million.
Yeah.
And if 30% of $792,000 would put them over $1 million if they decide to do that, but they will at least do this. All the street paving, Jennifer, Randy Evans says this every time it comes up, would not happen without the income tax.
Sure.
And I think, we've both been around before the city income tax was first passed in 2020. There wasn't a lot of street paving. There was some that got done, maybe a grant came in, or they allocated what money they had on maybe a street or two that's worse. They did a lot of patching and pothole filling, much more of that than they did paving. So that is one of the benefits, I guess, of the city income tax, which of course voters approved an extension
Yes.
of in the May primary election. As a matter of fact, it is permanent in the sense that it will stay on there until it gets taken off either by
Right.
voters, by referendum, or if council would decide, we don't need to do this anymore.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen, though. All right. Also, we want to report that we received this from the Jackson Sideliners Club. Remember, they're building that new concession stand at Jackson Middle School. It's on the end there next to Vaughn Street. That building dated back to 1959. That building is, the walls are already up. I'm sure a lot of the work is going on inside. It will be done in time for the Pee Wee football season and also the middle school football season. But the Sideliners Club was one of the funders. The school was partially the funder. Also, the Sideliners Club put up a lot of money. Well, the Sideliners Club, of course, they mainly use their money to support the football program, and they are asking for corporate and individual donations to help make up for what they put towards the JMS concession
Sure.
stand. They went in with the schools as partners because the Pee Wee program, which is part of the Sideliners, is done there at the middle school football field. But they put out a renewed call for donations. They obviously need more. Everything from, they'll take any donation that they can get, but they have levels as low as $100 and as high as $10,000, where your name will be permanently put on a plaque or some kind of permanent thing that would go on the concession stand. So, if you want to do, and remember, all those donations are tax deductible. That can make a difference on the taxes. Payments can be issued to the Jackson Sideliners Club at Post Office Box 866, or call any Sideliners member or officer if you know them, including Gene Folden, who is the president. That's 740-418-4549. We've had this information in the paper and posted on our newspaper website. You can also go, if you're online, to the Sideliners Facebook page and find a link to make a donation electronically. Fireworks are coming up in Jackson on July the 3rd.
Yes.
And the Jackson Firefighters Association, they're the ones that make that happen. Now, they get donations, they get some tourism money, that is a big boost, but they also collect a lot of private donations. Would not happen if they didn't have the private donations. They do 2 fireworks displays, not only on July the 3rd, but after the Christmas parade in December. They are now collecting funds to make sure that both fireworks displays are good. And it takes money to do that. So they have put out a Facebook post, and we have followed up with an article in the paper about donations that are now being accepted by the Jackson Firefighters Association. You can mail them to Jackson Firefighters Association at 152 Pearl Street. That is the address of the fire station, Jackson, Ohio, of course, 45640. Once again, the more money they get, the longer the fireworks will be, and the more packed they will be with spectacular pyrotechnics. So, I mean, the fireworks just doesn't happen because we want them to or we show up to see them. It takes money. All right, let's see, what else do we have? I want to acknowledge some folks who have passed away who were major contributors to our community. You probably already heard about some of them. Of course, we've had the obituaries in the paper in Vinton County last week. Emmett Joy, age 94, of MacArthur, passed away. He had a great military background, but he also, we have these, I think we have those pictures there, Adrian, of the folks who passed away. There's 3 of them. Emmett Joy was a 94. He lived in MacArthur. There he is. He was woodcarver. This was in his earlier days when he was a member of the esteemed military, had a great military career. But in later years, he became well known in art circles, not only in Vinton County, but in Jackson County. Just did some outstanding wood carvings that were always on display at the Foothills Art Festival and at the Marquee,
yeah.
etc. But he passed away at the age of 94 just last week. Another person that we lost who was such a contributor to the community, Connie Walker Johnston. Connie, I mean, there's Connie right there. What a lovely lady she was and how much she did for the community. Professionally, she was a realtor. With ERA Accent 2 Realty. She was the broker there, but she was also very active in the community. Jackson Rotary Club, Jackson Chamber of Commerce, Jackson Area YMCA. She was a can-do person and so progressive and upbeat and a real cheerleader for a lot of the good things that went in town. And, you know, when somebody is like that, you know, we need to respect them. And Connie, of course, had retired several years ago, and she hadn't been that well, but her death still came as a little bit of a surprise last week at the age of 79. Another person we lost, known in the community and through the school district, John Lloyd.
Yes.
John passed away at the age of 74. That is John right there. Talk about a nice guy. He was a longtime teacher at Jackson High School, also did a lot of coaching and refereeing. He was a golf coach for a long time at Jackson High School, did a lot of officiating in sports as well. I officiated with him on a number of sports in both of our younger days. But he was from a well-known family in town. His parents were well-known. Of course, they have both passed away. Younger brother Steve is still alive and just a wonderful person, keeps track of what's going on in Jackson. And John was his older brother. And so John Lloyd passes away at the age of 74 last week. He was also very active in the Presbyterian Church where he was an elder. And both he and his wife, Debbie, the late Debbie Lloyd, were big-time supporters and pillars of the Jackson Lions Club. So, good man, John Lloyd. Good woman, Connie Johnston. Good man, Emmett Joy. We've lost them all. So, no man's death diminishes me because I'm involved in mankind. So, therefore, don't ask for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
All right.
Okay. I always like that line when we lost somebody. But anyway, we also want to honor Hannah Potts. She's done it again. She is the only softball player in our coverage area to be first team All-Ohio. That was picked by the Fast Pitch Coaches Association for Ohio. That was in Division 5. That was where the Wellston Lady Golden Rockets, that was their division. Of course, you know, her stats, 20-4 this past season, over 132 innings, 289 strikeouts. That's better than 2 strikeouts an inning. An ERA of just over 1. She will be going to Western Michigan in her college life, and coming up very soon. Also want to tell everybody, especially in Vinton County, that a section of Macedonia Road is going to be closed for a bridge repair project. It's probably closed now. It was supposed to start today. It will probably be closed for 2 weeks for that bridge repair project. The closure location is 0.4 of a mile north of the intersection of Macedonia Road and County Road 17A, known locally as Pretty Run Road. Local traffic will be maintained north and south of the project site. So if you're driving through that area or you live in that area, heads up.
There you go.
All right.
Now you know all of that.
Now you know.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for hanging out this morning and delivering the news. It's good to have you back, and we will be back here tomorrow. Super duper duper hot outside. Please be very, very careful. Keep hydrated, and check on your friends, your neighbors. Make sure your pets have water, and just stay cool if you can.
Do the best you can. If you don't have air conditioning, find somebody who does.
That's right. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you right back here in the morning. Bye-bye.